Hi, I'm Stephen Cook, culture reporter with the Chronicle Herald and the SaltWire Network. And today I have the great pleasure of talking with Rosanna and Jackson from Hillsburn, whose long-awaited album, Slipping Away, comes out this weekend. Very excited to finally have it. I know I have an advanced copy, of course, but their fans are happy to finally have the full version available to hear it after a few singles. And how does it feel after the long process of making this record and then sitting on it for so long? How does it feel to finally have it out?
Yeah, it feels great. We've literally been working on this album for like 2+ years in some respects. So
long time.
Long time.
It's you can only wait so long for the pandemic to be over until you have to just say, all right, let's go. Let's put it into the world.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. Like, so many things have happened since we started working on this record that it feels like a whole other lifetime, but it's great to be able to put it into the world now.
Because you guys basically started writing this record in 2018, when after the previous album was kind of out there and had been toured and you're ready to move on. You kind of just
I think so. Yeah.
It was 2020 when we went to record it, so it would have been 2019 would have been the year that we spent just working on these songs, and then so we released Wilder Beyond in 2018, right? Yeah. So we spent pretty much the entirety of 2019 working on these songs, and like, the entire process of making this record was different than the one before. So we really it was long. It was long.
Now, up to this point, you'd been working on your own in the studio, kind of producing yourself with Paul, who's no longer with the band, but he was certainly a guiding force in the studio, and he was certainly involved in the making of this record. What made you decide to go all the way out to the left coast, out to Pacific shores of BC, and work with Howard Redekop, who's a terrific producer? I can understand why you'd want to work with him, but why did you make that leap for this record?
We, when we first started working on these songs since back in 2019, we kind of, as a group, decided that this record was the one that we were ready to kind of invite someone else into the group to help us make the record. I don't think we were ready as a band to have a producer for The Wilder Beyond, because it was Claire's first album with us, and we had a lot of figuring out to do for what our sound is. But we all kind of felt like this was the record that we would really benefit from that extra brain, basically. So we made a list of producers, and actually Howard, I believe, reached out to us.
He did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Probably in 2019,
mm-hmm.
Just to say he liked our stuff and would be interested in chatting about working together at some point. So we just kind of, just sort of like one thing at a time. I think he had a phone call with Nigel, our manager, and Clayton, our bandmate, like quite a long piece before we actually went to work with him. And it just, every step of the way, it became apparent that he was our guy.
Mm-hmm. And we had heard good things too, because he had worked on Like a Motorcycle's most recent album. And so we had heard good things from them about him. So Howard.
Well, I think of, he obviously worked with Tegan and Sarah, which is a big deal because, they're a group par excellence. And he also worked with the New Pornographers, which is what made me think that he would be a good choice for you guys, because that's a band where every single member is so talented and a great songwriter in their own right, and stands out in such a unique way that it seemed like he'd be a good choice or a good fit for Hillsburn, with so many ideas floating around.
And also Mother, I don't know if it's their first record or one of their early ones. What's it called? Oh My Heart?
Oh My Heart.
So good. Such a good record. I listened to that on just repeat when I was in high school. And even it stands up now. Like, we listened to it on the way out there, and it's really good.
So good.
Yeah, that was the one when I found out that he produced that record. I was like, okay, let's go.
What was it like being a little out of your element, making a new record and basically just having that to focus on?
I mean, like, I love making records personally. It's what I want to do. So it was great to be doing that. It's kind of weird to be doing it during a pandemic, especially at the start where the pandemic started in Canada. But yeah.
And started quite a bit sooner in BC. So we flew out there, and then like the second week we were in the studio, things started to shut down. And it was, it was really, for me, I don't know about you, but I found it nerve-wracking having Howard, like the first couple days he was there. I was really nervous, quite a bit nervous. And then he just relaxed me. Like he was so chill, and he had really great ideas. Mm-hmm. And very soon into the process, I was like, you know what? He's got us. He's got this. I'm just going to let him do his thing.
Did that affect production at all? Because like you say, you were kind of halfway through, or in the middle of making this record. All of a sudden there's a pandemic going on. You're focused on being in the studio and not really being outside that much anyway, probably. But still, it's were you able to kind of do what you needed to do in the time you had to do it, or was there any kind of effect?
For the most part, we had to come home about 5 or 6 days early, just because we didn't want to get locked out of the province or anything. But yeah, we had most of the record recorded at that point. There were some things that we had to do back home and then send to Howard, and then all of the mixing happened over Zoom.
So Howard would send us a draft mix, and then once a day, we would listen to the draft in the morning and then have a meeting over Skype or Zoom or whatever, the 5 of us, and talk about our notes. And Clayton would compile all of our ideas and then send notes back. And one thing about working with us is that we all have relatively strong opinions. And so I find mixing really, really hard. I'm like a big picture, where's the spotlight? I don't really care about the details kind of a personality, which is really great for shows and stuff. And Clayton and Jackson have really they have detail oriented ears, which is a really great thing to have in that part of the process. So I think we all have our strengths, but mixing over by correspondence over the internet was difficult.
Well, it makes fine tuning that much more difficult. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
totally.
What could be done in 3 minutes is done over 5 emails.
Now, when I think of Hillsburn, I think of a band that's very emotional, very intuitive, very empathic in a way with what's going on around it and what's going on with its audience. As you say, these songs were written before all this craziness happened, but still, I feel like maybe some of that feeling may have crept into the songs somehow, because I feel like so many of them are attuned to what we're all feeling. There are songs about isolation and trying to focus on what's important in life and all the things that we're certainly more key on now, but have always been there in our life. Do you find it kind of odd how some of these songs have become even more potent down the road from when you wrote them?
I was very interested to notice as we were recording the vocals how many of the songs were really, really poignant. I want to use that word, but I'm not sure I'm using it right.
I think so.
As to the situation that we were all in, I do think that isolation, loneliness, depression, all of that stuff, I think a lot of that stuff was there before all of this. And this pandemic has brought a lot of that stuff to light in a way that has never been talked about before. Paul, who wrote all the songs, just has such an incredible ability to write the human experience. And I think of the majority of us as humans, we're experiencing a lot of those things already. And now it's just tenfold. Well,
Get High is I believe the latest single. And that song, of course, is accompanied by a video where you take the title to a different literal interpretation, which I've been watching with amazement. And tell me how you and Claire sort of made this agreement that you would jump out of a plane and parachute. Lots of people do it, but to take it and turn it into art, basically, to take this amazing feat and incorporate it into the song.
I blame Claire. It was her idea. She, her and Katie Lamond, who helped film the video and edit it. Thank you, Katie. The two of them came up with this idea together, and they presented it to the band. And I'm pretty scared of heights and most physical adventure generally. It's just not really my jam. But it was such a great idea, and it like the concept of it for a music video was like, I can't say no.
Can't not do it.
I can't not do it. I have to do this. And it was definitely like the most terrifying thing I have ever done. Craziest thing I've ever done. Claire loved it. She had the time of her life. I got a concussion.
What?
Yeah, I got a mild whiplash concussion from when the parachute opened. I almost puked in the air. It wasn't like we didn't show that part, but it wasn't pretty. But I did it, Stephen, and I'm very proud of myself.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely not. No, unless maybe if somebody. No, I wouldn't do it for money. And no, I think it's a one-time experience.
$1 million?
No, I don't think so.
2 million?
No.
Billion?
No. That's too much money. I don't want that.
But you did it for art, and that's really what counts.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible idea, and I'm so glad that she had it, and I'm glad that I was able to work up the guts to do it, honestly. I really didn't think I was going to end up being able to do it.
Well, my partner has parachuted and bungee jumped and done any of those challenges that get put forward. I have not done any of that stuff. You know, a roller coaster is probably as daring as I
hate roller coasters.
So I will continue to live vicariously through this video. So
great. Yeah, I mean, me too now. That's it.
When was the last time you guys actually were able to play a show? When was the last time you were able to be in front of an audience?
I think March, maybe, when we played at the Evergreen Theater.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that right?
I don't know. Time is irrelevant to me now.
Yeah.
I think it was in March. We were supposed to we had our release shows scheduled at St. Andrews, but we decided to postpone them until the fall just to make sure everybody feels comfortable and safe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine what it's like to have this record out and being so renowned for live shows that really take everything to a whole other level, to not be able to do that in the way that you guys normally do. And I'm really looking forward to that time when you guys can be on stage again, because I just, I have so many fond memories of seeing you. There was a show at the Seahorse that was otherworldly.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
And, and how do you feel about going forward as a four-piece? How are those shows going to encapsulate what Hillsburn is all about now?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we first decided that we were going to continue after Paul decided to leave the band, we were a little unsure of how everything was going to work. But Rosanna has learned to play bass and guitar, and Claire's learned to sing, and it sounds like
it's actually really fun and awesome.
Yeah, weirdly enough, we're down one person, but we have more gear. So
classic Hillsburn.
Well, if there's a band that can rise to a challenge, it's Hillsburn, and I'm glad to see that you faced each one head on.
One nice thing is that all of this transition happened at a period when we couldn't play shows. So, like, we got home, finished the record. Paul decided to leave the band, and then we had this period of time where no one was expecting us to do anything. So we were able, like, I just practiced the bass, and Claire's been taking some voice lessons, and we've been learning how to play our songs again. So we have had, it's been nice from that perspective because we got a little bit of extra time that we wouldn't have otherwise had. It would have been a big scramble to figure it out. But now we're ready. We're ready. Let's go.
Have you been writing together in this new configuration? Are there, having all this time from between recording and now, do you feel like you have new songs that can go onto another project down the road?
We are working on a new thing. Clayton's been actually doing a ton of writing, which is really, really cool. We're planning the next thing as we speak. So the answer is yes. We don't have anything like that we could actually record today, but we have a lot of ideas, which is half the battle. Actually, it's 75% of the battle.
Well, with the brand new record slipping away, we don't need to focus too far into the future. We've got new music to enjoy. And
we're in the moment.
let's live in the moment and look forward to some shows happening in the fall. And is there anything else you'd like to say about the project before we bid our farewell?
I really hope everybody likes it. I'm really excited about it. I think this is definitely our best effort yet. I hope that people are doing okay and that this provides at least a small break from the world. Put on your headphones and I don't know. Yeah, I hope you like it.
What she said.
Well, I like it very much, and I'm sure everyone else will. It's uplifting. It's heartening. It lets us know we're not alone in a musical fashion, and
good. That's the goal.
And I'm sure it'll get us through the summer. No problem.
Great.
Rosanna, Jackson, thank you for your time, and looking forward to hearing more of Slipping Away as the months progress. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having us.